Welcome to Painted Layers. In this episode, we are going to learn how to make this awesome pot holder. The first step is to iron your fabric. I found this really cute fabric from the thrift store. Next, I cut out a square of batting. I'm using an 8" by 8" square, and I put it on top of the fabric after folding as a pattern, and I used my rotary cutter and ruler to cut out the square. Now arrange both front side pieces facing out and make a sandwich with the batting in the middle. I used some chalk and a ruler to draw lines 2 inches apart going up and down across the pot holder to make a quilting pattern. I'm using a straight stitch with a regular needle. One way to make this easier would be to use a special foot called a walking foot, which makes quilting easier. Also notice that I am using wonder clips to hold the fabric in place. When you're done sewing over all the lines, you want to cut any extra threads that you have and trim up the edges to make sure everything is straight. Next, we want to apply bias tape. This is a double folded bias tape. You want to open the bias tape up and line the edge of the pot holder up with the edge of the bias tape. Start about 1 inch down from the bias tape and sew along the fold. Now I'm going to use a disappearing pen to mark about 1/4 from the bottom of the pot holder. Once I sew to that dot, I'm going to sew at an angle towards the corner. Now I'm going to do a special fold with the bias tape. I'm going to fold the bias tape up along the angle and then pull it back down, lining up with the edge. Then I'm going to start sewing at the edge and continue to stitch along that fold. I'm stopping again about 1/4 to the edge and then turning to make an angle towards the corner. I'm going to repeat that fold, lifting the fabric up to fold along that angle stitch, and then pull the bias tape back down, lining with the edge. Then I am going to repeat this process for all 4 corners. Once I get back to my starting strip, I am going to cut the bias tape so that I have about 1/2 inch on both sides when the bias tape lies flat. I now want to sew these 2 pieces together, and I want to be very careful that I line them up evenly. Now I want to fold the bias tape back over around the edge and sew it down following the line of the first stitch to attach the bias tape. You also want to fold the corners, and when you fold the corners you want them to make an angle that matches the other side. And here you have your finished eco-friendly pot holder.